Late Night Health continues live from Supply Side West in Las Vegas, Nevada. We've been talking to exciting people all day. We have a young man we're going to be talking to. He's the president of Kappa Bioscience, GARNET. PIGDEN has a background from DuPont to Kappa, which is amazing. We'll find out more about that. And we're going to be talking a little bit about K2, vitamin K2. Most people don't even know there is a vitamin K. So let's talk about GARNET first. What's your background, GARNET?
Well, Mark, thanks for having me on your show. My background spans both consumer products as well as B2B ingredients. I started my career with SC Johnson on shampoos and things like that. Went to Pepsi.
But no baby powder.
No baby powder. And I went to PepsiCo, so I tricked people into buying snacks for a long time, and then went to ConAgra, where I got involved with brands such as Healthy Choice, which was perhaps one of my orientations towards healthy foods. From ConAgra, I joined DuPont on their Soleil soy protein business, which is located in St. Louis. And from there, I went to DSM, the world's largest manufacturer of ingredients, $5 billion in sales. And
they're just down the hall.
They're just down the hall. That's
see
exactly
any old
right.
Friends?
Bunch of alma mater mates there. And I joined Kappa Bioscience about 2 years ago. And Kappa Bioscience is located in Oslo, Norway. They are the market leaders in vitamin K2. And what vitamin K2 does is it takes calcium out of your arteries and binds it to your bones. So it has two distinctive benefits. One is bone health, and the other is heart health. You've heard of hardening of the arteries.
Of course.
That occurs when you have too much calcium in your arteries. You develop a stiffening of the arteries, and that restricts blood flow. So your heart has to work that much harder to push the blood through your system. Vitamin K2 is a fat-soluble vitamin. It is deficient in Western diets. Perhaps it's not deficient in Japan, where they eat a dish called natto, which are fermented soybeans.
I'd try it.
But you will not get enough K2 in your diet normally. So that's why you need supplementation. And
I'm sorry, and I like where you're going, but I'm thinking heart health. That's still the number one cause of death in the United States.
True.
And there's something called chelation therapy.
Sure.
Is K2 from Kappa chelating that excess calcium and moving it from the arteries to the bones?
That's a good question. I'm not. That's
You'll write
sufficiently
it down in that.
That's sufficiently above my science pay grade. But what I know is that what K2 does is it stimulates proteins that remove that calcium from your arteries. One of the calciums is called osteocalcine, and so that calcium is going to be floating around in your arteries, and eventually it'll start to calcify and restrict blood flow. So K2 sort of acts as a sandblaster. Even if the calcification has started to occur, it'll remove that existing calcification. And that's what you absolutely want. So people generally get enough calcium in their diet from a variety of sources, but the perfect pair to make that calcium work are D3 and K2.
Wow.
And so
we all know the benefits of vitamin D.
Exactly. And you may not know the benefits of vitamin K2 because it's sort of in its infancy, even though the vitamin was discovered back in the 1950s. Most of the science has really occurred just since the late 1990s. And there are 21 published studies on K2 and on its benefits in bone health and heart health. And most recently, there was one published in 2017 by a guy named McFarlane that tested elite athletes dosing K2 at 160 micrograms for 4 weeks. And he showed that those athletes achieved a maximal cardiac output of increase of 12%.
Whoa.
Which is huge, huge. Think of marathoners and cyclists. So that's a big benefit. And it's all because of improved circulation.
Why K2? Because there's no vitamin G, there's no vitamin H.
That I'm not sure. I think it's the way the molecule is designed. But again, that's outside my science pay grade.
I get it. I'm just a smarty pants.
I'm just a marketing guy.
Okay, yeah, I get it. So, with the aging of America, aging of the world, the population, we're not having as many kids. Even in China, they're not having as many kids. And so as we age, osteoporosis, arthritis, can this help with that?
Absolutely. I mean, some of those studies that I referenced were specifically among postmenopausal women, where they showed a definitive improvement in reduction of arterial stiffening, a reduction in cardiovascular risk, an improvement in bone formation, actually, in that group. And bone health is important, and circulation is important at all ages. For example, I feed my children, who are 16 and 14 now, I feed them 180 micrograms of K2 a day because 90% of all your bone is developed between 13 and 19. And the better you build bone during those formative years, the better off you'll be later in life.
Do you sneak it into their diet?
No,
they know
I just put the pills out and they take it.
Oh, okay. All right.
They're
Dad says
compliant.
to do it. They're very compliant. There's something, because most people, when their doctor says, hey, take this, they're not compliant. Right?
Well, I think if you believe in the need and believe in the science, then you'll do it. Because I take a variety of supplements. That's because I've been in the industry for years, and I believe they work. So there's a big faith factor when it comes to vitamins and different nutrients. And I think what you're doing is you're buying yourself an insurance policy so that as you age, you're going to age maybe more gracefully and experience fewer problems.
One of the other issues in aging is brain health. Does K2 have any benefits in that?
Insofar that it will improve circulation, yes. So there's no cognitive studies that have been fielded and published on an improved memory, let's say, or improved cognition. But just by improving circulation, you ought to be able to think better for longer.
What about looking better?
That's a great question. Beauty from within benefits. When K2 takes calcium out of your arteries, it is good for skin health. Why? Because the largest organ in your body is your skin, and extra calcium in your arteries promotes wrinkles and fine lines. So, our head scientist is a big believer on skin benefits associated with K2. We've not fielded a study on that yet, but theoretically, it makes sense. The same is true for prevention of varicose veins. When you can improve circulation,
I'm pulling my leg. Sheldon, do I have varicose veins?
Showing off again. Huh?
So that circulation benefit translates into skincare benefits.
The biggest problem, my understanding is, and I'm a layperson, is that calcium is not readily absorbed without D2.
D3 and
D3, right?
Yeah.
And
you're absolutely right.
Yeah, right?
Right. So, as I said, calcium is really poorly absorbed without the benefits of D3 and K2. So, our recommendation to anybody is to do what I call the perfect pair, D3 and K2. Do 1,000 IUs of D3, do 100 micrograms of K2. Do just micrograms. And so the dose is very small, the pills are very small, and it's just one a day, and you'll have better bone health and better, and the K2 will improve your circulation. If you want the perfect heart health pair, then do omega-3s in K2.
And what about more K2? Or is that
more K2? you pretty much plateau on K2 at 350 micrograms a day. There's no upper limit. The National Institute of Health has stated there's no upper limit. There have been no adverse events ever fielded. So it's safe. And as I said, people at all ages ought to be taking K2 for bone and heart health.
And what you just said, what you meant with that big fancy word, clotting,
Yeah.
right? There have been some...
But there's a worry, I would say, that if you're on a warfarin program or something like that, the recommendation is ask your doctor if you should be taking it, and that's one of the disclaimers that needs to be put on packages when K2 is used.
Gotcha. Anything else going on at Kappa?
Well, I think with regard to the K2 market in general, it is the fastest growing vitamin in the world. And the awareness level of K2, we've done surveys across 5,000 consumers here in the U.S. We know that about half of all supplement users have heard of K2. The usage level is about on par with curcumin and CoQ10, which are very big ingredients. And we think that K2 will be the next D3 because it's on that same trajectory.
If you guys are based in Oslo, Norway, you should be doing omega-3s too.
Omega-3s are big in Norway. You have a number of companies in Norway that are big into that. But our focus is on K2. That's our sweet spot.
Your specialty.
Yes, our specialty. That's where we have a patent, and it may expand beyond that, but that's where we are right now.
Gotcha. Even though they're consumers, they might want to look at your website to learn more. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Just go to kappabio.com, and there's a wealth of information there on the benefits of K2.
And that's Kappa Bio.
Kappabio.com.
Kappabio.com.
Correct.
Very good. I appreciate your spending some time with me, Garnet. How did I do?
You did wonderful, Mark.
Okay, you did too. Thank you. Hang in for just 1 second. We're going to start the music here. And that, of course, signifies the end of the segment. And this will be our last interview for the day. We will be back tomorrow with many, many more. We've got just an endless supply of really interesting people that we can talk to here at Late Night Health live from Supply Side West. Join us at latenighthealth.com. Join us at facebook.com/Late Night Health. And you can even go to linkedin.com/Mark Alyn, MarkAlyn. Again, Garnet, thank you. And we will be back tomorrow.